Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trinity Music Podcast. On today's episode, we have new S6 pupil, Aiva O'Neill. How are you?
Well, that makes me sound old, I'm not going to lie. Makes me feel it. I'm very good, thank you, sir. How are you?
Good. I'm fine. I feel a bit old too, because you'd have been S3 when I started here, and now you're going into S6, which is...
Mr. Merrick taught me in S1, so...
Yeah. So you're the first year group to go all the way through the sort of new music system?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I had the old music teacher, Miss McElroy, for half a year, and then she left and Mr. Merrick came.
For the first half of S1?
Yeah.
And then it's all... it's kind of been a totally new way of doing things since he came in. So I know, time moves so fast. Yeah, but how's everything going? I know you're in the middle of the exams. Are they going okay?
Yeah, they're going okay. I've got music on Friday, so...
Yeah.
This is definitely studying for it.
Studying. Is that what you told your folks? I was just waiting to study for music.
I said I was doing music.
Yeah. I don't think one of the questions in the exam is like an interview about Taylor Swift.
Well,
but,
listen.
You never know what could come up.
Yeah, Taylor Swift has come up in exams before. It was Nat 5 and it was a past paper. However, it happens.
Do you know something that's I remember that exact question because we were doing it as a practice the year below you recently. It's not the song you've chosen actually.
I think it's the old version of it. Yeah,
it's the non-Taylor version where they do the
which we don't listen to.
It's the chord change question. Yeah. That's the best buzz ever when it's an exam and the song comes on that you know. Last year it was Shotgun in Nat 5. Remember that? I just love the anticipation of knowing that nobody has ever seen this paper before 9 o'clock on a Friday morning, and it could be any song in the world when the excerpt's about to kick in. Yeah. And I know that's really sad, but it just makes me excited knowing that what could this song be. Anyway, so what exams have you done so far?
I've done biology and history, and I've got music on Friday, and then English on Tuesday.
Good. So you're halfway through the hires. And
halfway through.
They went all right the first two?
Yeah, I think I've done pretty well. So
good.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and I'm sure music will go to plan as well. Remember, you've already done the vast majority of it anyway, so yeah. Then once English is done, you'll have a couple of weeks of no exams, which is good.
Yep.
What are you doing for the rest of study leave?
I will probably end up in here helping out, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, wow. What a team member.
Well, I don't like not having stuff to do, so you can usually find something to do around here.
Yeah, you're always welcome to come in and help in the classes.
Is that just because you want to get off work, sir?
No. I mean, to co-teach things. Yeah, because things are busy in here. So our timetable changed as well, obviously, when you guys... Well, because you've been on study leave, you've probably not seen, but the new timetable started this week and we've got all new classes coming in, and the numbers in S3 are ridiculous. Like over 90 people have taken music in S3. So to put that into perspective, before you started, it was like hardly anybody has taken it. So
I didn't take music in S3.
Yeah, I know. Aye, terrible. So
I came back for S4. I came back for the exam. That's all that matters.
So
and I got an A, so
yeah, exactly.
You can't fault me for it.
So it's all systems go. So any additional help we can get from someone like yourself would be incredible. Anyway, you're on here for a good reason, and it's to talk about your favourite songs of all time. Usually when people send me these lists in advance, to be fair, I often quite like the song, and like I've maybe heard of it and recognised it or whatever. But you've picked 3 really, really famous songs that everybody will know. From one of them is a more recent song, but 2 kind of more older songs that have stood the test of time extremely well. So what are you going to be talking about today?
I'm going to be talking about Superstition by Stevie Wonder, Radio Gaga by Queen, and All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor's version, From the Vault by Taylor Swift.
Brilliant. Good. So I'm looking forward to chatting about your songs. Have you got one you'd like to do first, like a particular order?
No, you pick.
Okay, well, I've got them written down as All Too Well, Radio Gaga and Superstition. So we just do All Too Well first of all?
Yep.
So this is the one, Annie's explained this to me before, and so have other people, but I always forget. So this is the Taylor version of
Taylor's
it.
version, yeah.
So does that mean that, like, she recorded the whole album again?
Yeah. So it was recorded a few years ago and everything, but the profits made off of that don't actually go to her because those were sold away, like the rights to it were sold away by her old record label.
Okay.
So she re-recorded them all just so that like she'd still have them.
Ownership over them.
Yeah. So most people who listen to Taylor Swift will just go directly to the Taylor's version. You're not like ending the world if you don't listen to it, but it's preferred that you listen to it just because, you know, she wrote them, she made them, they're her songs.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And is this version, the Taylor version, different to the original All Too Well?
Yes, there is the original All Too Well, which is about 5 minutes long, but this is the uncut version. So for lots of songs, for lots of people, they'll like cut some lines and lyrics and everything to make it shorter.
It's more like radio friendly.
Yeah. But this version is uncut. It has everything she wanted to put in it, so it's longer, but it's worth it. Okay,
so talk us through it then. So when did you first come to like think of this song as one of your favourite ones of all time?
That's a good question. I listened to it when the re-recorded album came out. I had just gotten into like Taylor Swift songs then because my sister had got me into them. And she was like, you've got to listen to the new one. I was like, yeah, I'll listen to it eventually. And she's like, no, you've got to listen to it. I was like, okay. I was like, the same song on here twice. She was like, no, there's not. There is not. So I listened to the first one. I was like, this is pretty good. Then I listened to the second one. I was like, this is really long, but this is really, really, really good. And it was very different and very weird because I don't know, it's like a slower song, but like you can really get into it. Yeah,
it's got a really good beat to it as well, and when they kind of builds up and up and up, it's quite because you think 10 minutes of music would become a bit boring, particularly when it's the same like chords that get played around the whole song. But something about the lyrics of it that it takes you on a story. So in the 5 minute version, is that just condensed? Like, do they just take out some of the verses?
Yeah, there's a couple of verses that aren't in it, but I'll prefer the 10 minute version because it's got everything in it, because it is like a full story.
Yeah.
And also, there's a thing about Taylor Swift songs, and it's she cannot write a bad bridge. Like, it's impossible. The bridge of the song is always the best. And this one, like, half of it's like a bridge.
Yeah.
So it's really like all built up and everything. So that's why I prefer that version.
Yeah. Are you a fan of her generally? Is there loads of other songs that you quite like?
It was hard to pick my favourite, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think you've gone for a sort of impressive one, and I can't think of many other artists that have like 10-minute songs that are, and at the pop genre particularly, that's had as much mainstream success as that. Is she out on tour currently? I always see videos of her performing.
On the Eras tour, so basically she hadn't done tours for like a couple of years, and she's had albums come out since.
Yeah.
And also her re-releases. So instead of it being an album tour, like most people release an album then go on tour, she just like picked a bunch of songs from loads of different albums, and she's touring the US currently.
Yeah.
And most of them is the same set list, but she does a surprise song every night.
Oh, nice. I like that. And she come to the UK?
I wish.
Yeah. Surely she will at some point and do, a stadium.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, so it really is a good song. Is there anything particular to you that you like about it? Like any specific memories you have associated with that song?
I remember like me and my sister. She gets into music, and then I get into music after her because I've heard her listen to it so much. But we kind of got into that at the same time, like when that was like re-released. We started like listening to stuff at the same time, and then it was like we were doing it together, and it's like still the case now.
Yeah.
So I like to think that that's one of the reasons like we get to.
It's like it means a lot to the both of you.
Yeah. So
is she quite a bit older than you?
She's 2.5 years older than me.
Oh, so it's not like
it's not missions. Which is why I usually end up getting into music that she's just gone out of.
Yeah, she's slightly ahead of the trend.
Yeah. She's like, you got to listen to it. I'm like, no. And then about a year later, she's off it and I'm on it.
Good stuff. So it's a cracking song, that one, All Too Well. I genuinely like this song. Often with like a lot of pop music, I don't really like it, but I actually do like this song. I think the lyrics are really well written, and I think Taylor doesn't get enough credit. I'm sure I said this to Annie before on her podcast. Like as a writer, a lot of her songs are actually like the lyrics are really good. Plus, a lot of the chords and stuff work well with each other. She's good at writing catchy guitar parts, and I think often like she's seen as maybe more of a celebrity figure sometimes rather than like what she really is, which is an incredible like musician. And when she first started out, a lot of her earlier stuff is very country influenced, and
I mean, she
particularly like that sort of thing.
She started out when she was my age, like her first album. She was 16, which was actually the year I was born. So that's kind of funny.
Aye.
But yeah,
she had the full album out by the time she was in the equivalent of 5th year at school.
Yeah. I believe she was 16 when Debut came out. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's one way to make yourself feel terrible, though, when you think about like all these people, like Declan McKenna, who was speaking to a class about this before, who's the guy that wrote Brazil, which is a famous song.
Yeah.
He was 14 when that song came out, which is like 3rd year. It's just mad. Other people that have like incredibly successful at a young age, and you look at your own life and go,
I made toast without burning it last night, and that's an achievement.
Successfully made a cup of tea without ruining it by putting too much milk in or leaving the bag in too long, and it's just anyway. So child prodigies. Sometimes you just got to sit back and admire. And thing about art though is that we can all enjoy their talent. I often wonder with her, like, where does your career go though when you reach such a peak? Like, and it seems like for the last best part of 10 years, she's been like the number one artist. Yeah. And the thing about music and sport as well, to a certain extent, is your career peaks when you're in your 20s. But I wonder what she'll be doing like in 20 years' time, if she still thinks she'll still be releasing the same songs. I mean, I don't know.
She went from country to pop, and which is like a fairly big transition.
Yeah.
And she did not lose fans, and she went through a whole scandal. Like, I think it was like Taylor Swift's over party thing was like trending on Twitter, and she like went off the grid for 2 years and then came back with Reputation, and everyone loved it. Yeah. Reputation's one of her albums, by the way.
Aye, I know. I did actually know that. Yeah,
well, I'm actually quite pleased with that.
No, Taylor Swift was massive when I was at school. Probably as much as she still is now. She's like, a lot of the artists that have came out in the last 15 years don't really hold their levels of fame. Like, they'll be famous for a year, then they'll go away. Like, can't think of any specific examples off the top of my head, but she's someone that's been consistently the person number one for best part of a decade and longer, probably. And it's just interesting to think, well, what happens to these guys in 20 years' time? But her music is pretty timeless, and I think people will still be listening to that 10-minute version as the years to come. It's got a lot of, as we talked about the lyrics earlier, it's quite inspiring, and I like that about Taylor, in that a lot of her songs are kind of written from a perspective of the inequalities in music between males and females, and how it is much harder to be a female in the music industry and probably in society in general, because of all the subtle things that males don't realise, probably.
Yeah, she released a song called The Man.
Yes.
And she liked to, and a lot of it's comparing like two things you've called.
Exactly.
Like women are calculated, but men have a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like stuff like
and
that.
You hear that language all the time. Like, I'm not going into too much of the details of it, but it's like if a guy goes out with loads of girls, he's a lad. But if it's the other way around, that the girl will get like called so many different things, and it's just like those double standards that really do exist, and Taylor Swift addresses it head on. And again, me and Annie mentioned that, I think, like in that music video, I'm sure it's
she puts a man
in plays a man, or a man. I'm not sure the logistics of it, but it just shows you how different people react to it. And all those different words, like probably I would have been guilty of it myself, and still am to a certain extent, but like not through. Like, not intentionally, but so like if a woman is making decisions, she's bossy, but if a male does it, they're authoritative.
Yeah.
But there's no difference to it other than the gender, and then it's interesting. But yeah, an inspiring woman, an amazing songwriter, and I think you've picked a really good one there to kick us off.
I mean, the woman became a doctor for.
What's that?
She became a doctor in music.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Did she? Oh, like an honorary
No,
doctor.
she went through the course.
Did it? Oh, good.
Yeah, she graduated last year.
Is her real name actually Taylor Swift, or is it like
Taylor Allison Swift?
Dr. Swift.
Dr. Swift, yeah.
Aye. I'd love to be a doctor of music. Imagine that was in the door. Like, I know like a lot of science and math teachers are doctors, but...
Yeah, no. Dr. Solly.
Yeah. I don't think it's got a good ring to it. But no.
No, I think it would
Dr. Merrick, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so the next one you've picked is Radio Gaga by Queen. This is an excellent song.
I love this song. It's so fun.
That's it's just a fun song, isn't it?
So fun.
It's quite silly. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just
Queen in general, I really do like. Mostly they're like more famous songs. I'm not gonna lie, but I have listened to a lot of Queen, and I do really like it. But this song just has like something to it, and you're just like, this is so fun.
Yeah, it's just excellent. In the musical We Will Rock You as well. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really good. Sure, it opens We Will Rock You. Is it not one of the ones near the start of the song? Not the very first song, but it's like the first kind of maybe.
I think it
choreographed
might be.
number. And the claps on the Radio Gaga, like it's just really good. So what was it about this one in particular? Any memories of this one, or just a song that you just like?
Yeah,
for the sake
actually,
of it?
with the claps, I went to see Queen as right now Queen and Adam Lambert. When they played in the Hydro last June, and it was great. Like the place was absolutely packed. It was such a great show. But then when this song came on, and I kid you not, every single person in that place, hands were up at the clap bit. Everyone's hands up, and I have like a picture of my sister who was there with me, with her hands like out ready for the clap. And honestly, nice. It was like so great, and everyone was just like, everyone was doing it at the exact same time. But afterwards, we went across the road, and we went up to the flats because we know someone who lives up there, and we went out. It's like the flats across the road from the Hydro, and we
over
went
the other side of the river.
No, it's like down the road a bit.
Yeah, I know roughly where you are. Yeah,
and we went out onto the balcony, and at first, the whales that are like famous at Queen concerts.
Yeah, the thing that Freddie did. Yeah, and everybody does it back. Yeah.
Well, my sister decided it would be a really fun idea because everyone was still coming out at this point, and the roads just across the road. She decided to like scream that out the side of the balcony. I kid you not, there was about 50 people there. They all screamed it back.
Did it back.
And then she started doing the clapping again.
Brilliant.
And it was so funny. Like, genuinely, it was so funny.
That sounds like one of the... something that could have been filmed, like, that does the rounds on Twitter and everybody's loving it.
No, everyone loved it. It was so funny.
Oh, tremendous. Yeah, I'd love to see Queen and Adam Lambert in concert. And you were telling me this before we set up the filming and stuff, like how on one of the songs, was it Love of My Life?
Love of My Life, yeah.
How they have, is it a hologram of him? Freddie Mercury?
Yeah.
Like on the screen, and it's like his original voice?
Yeah, so they have like this projection, you can see it on the screens, and at first it was Brian May who plays the guitar. He was singing the first part of it, which was like nice. He was one of the original members and everything. And then for the second part, they like projected him on, and so it was like Freddie Mercury was singing it like there, which is really nice because obviously he died. Yeah. Which was very sad. But yeah, no, it was like so surreal. You're like, oh my god, like this is like so cool.
Yeah.
This is.
Aye, such a sad loss to music. I've talked about him on previous episodes before, but see that thing that he does, that AO thing. I can't think of anybody else that's ever done something like that before, and it's still so iconic. Like, I'll like sound checks for gigs. There will always be somebody that will do that, and he's sort of saved. Like, he's created something there that like has been. Say, I don't know. You were doing the talent show at school, right, and you were hosting the talent show. If you did that, everybody would say it back regardless of who you are, and that's just a mad idea that he's had. I can't think of anything that's similar to that, but it's incredible. So Radio Gaga by Queen, song number 2, really well known, one that everybody would enjoy. A song that like 5-year-olds like, but also a song that loads of people our age and older would appreciate as well. And it came out years and years ago. One of my favourite Queen songs as well. I really like it. And if you've not seen the musical We Will Rock You, I really would urge you to go and see it. The storyline's a bit strange, but it's about how like people, they try and sort of save rock and roll, don't they? But the music in it is great. Incredible guitar playing and everything from Brian May. But yeah, great song. So you've hit 2 really good ones, and the last one you've picked is Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Yes. This song, once again, is just so fun. It's so great. Like, see if you're like walking, like there's some songs and it just like changes your pace and just like builds up your confidence and stuff. Yeah. That's just one of those songs. Like, you're just walking and you're just like, yeah, you know what? Today's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, you can tell as soon as the beat kicks in, and then the wee funky riff. I think it's on like a harpsichord or something, like maybe a clavichord, and it's just excellent. Any particular like favourite bits about this song or associations with it?
no favourite bits. I will tell you, first time I remember hearing this song, I've probably heard it beforehand, but first memory I think of when I hear this song is I was watching one of my sister's dance shows. I feel like I've talked more about my sister in the songs and
yeah, we'll give her some credits in the description.
But yeah, I was at one of my sister's dance shows, and they were doing like just a bunch of different things, and I heard that song come on. I was like, oh, this is going to be like fun, you know, thinking, oh, I mean, what kind of dancing are you going to do? I kid you not, there was about 5 people who were probably about 17 or 18 doing a point dance to this.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, they walked on, like, they strutted in on point, which is, if you don't know how difficult that is, you are on your toe on wood. Oh. Like, that's... And
it sounds hard.
It's difficult, and they were on point, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, they had, like, leather jackets and, like, sunglasses and everything. It looked so, like, just amazing. I loved it. And I was like, you know what, this song's so good as well.
Aye, it's a great tune. I like the wee post-chorus bit. It's like after he says Superstition, the brass kicks in, there's this wee sort of like dun 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 thing, and it's really good. It's very funky. It's a great track. Yeah. Do you remember, was it the first time you ever heard it? Was it that dance show? Had you heard it before?
I probably heard it before, but that's the first memory that comes to mind.
Aye, it's the first mention of Stevie Wonder we've had on this podcast as well, who is definitely a music legend.
Oh yeah.
It's obviously quite well known, but he is blind, which you know, like, still just is. It literally does blow my mind that how can you play the piano without being able to see? And he can also play the drums as well, and he's got this incredible singing voice. Just defies like any sort of like perception of what would be, you know, achievable by someone with that level of, you know, disability. And incredible talent. I really like that song. He's got loads of other good songs as well. Signed, Sealed, Delivered's another good Stevie Wonder song.
I love that song.
It's another one just that puts you in a great mood.
Yeah, he's got quite a few that do that.
Yeah, Isn't She Lovely as well. That I've actually seen
that's just a happy one.
I've seen an arrangement of that for higher keyboards before, which is a shame that I've not.
And you didn't think to give us it, for God's sake.
Instead, you had to play Yellow Submarine.
I've been playing Yellow Submarine and Mamma Mia all year, and we could have had Stevie Wonder.
I don't know where it is though. I'd seen it in another school when I was like a student teacher doing a placement, and a pupil I was helping in the school that I was at the time played that song, and I hadn't ever remembered it until now. I'll maybe need to try and track it down. I could probably find it online because it is like. It'd be cool just to be able to play that sort of song, even just for the sake of doing it. But yeah, I love that one. Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Again, one everybody will know. Like what you said actually earlier, just want to put on and just walking about, and it'll make you, it'll lift your spirits. And you create such happy music that's just, it makes you just feel so good. And I like that about all of your songs. You've got real positive emotions behind it. I know All Too Well has maybe got a slightly sad undertone. It
is a breakup song, but also like that. That's fine. Like, you need to work through things, and if you want to write a song about a bad ex, you do that, because that is called being healthy.
Healing, it? As Lizzo says.
Yes.
Yeah. Aye. So I really like all 3 tracks. You've done All Too Well, 10-minute version, the Taylor version. Yep. Radio Gaga by Queen, and then Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Please go and have a listen to those ones. You hear them on the radio quite a lot, so you don't need to search too far to find them. You'll also have like millions of views on YouTube and stuff like that, and millions of streams on Spotify. And the thing I love about these songs is they certainly, Radio Gaga and Superstition will be the best part of 50 years old, probably. Maybe not quite that. They'll probably still be as popular in 50 years' time. And I've kind of developed a obsession with that recently, like songs that are timeless. Like, you get some songs that date really badly, like, you know, stuff that came out maybe 2 years ago, like, you know, like Blinding Lights, that was massive during the lockdown. See, if you heard that now, you go, oh, that's really old, even though it was 2 years ago. But you would never say that about a song like Radio Gaga. And I just think, not many people these days make these songs that have the longevity of the ones that you've picked, which I really like. It shows you've got a real appreciation for music, you know.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So before we finish off, obviously, you're coming into 6th year now. You probably won't start it properly. Well, you don't start it properly until you come back after study leave.
Yeah.
What are you doing next year, subject-wise? Have you chosen? How does it work in S6? I don't really know.
Well, it kind of depends. So you'll make your choices and you'll have your timetable and everything, but obviously some things depend on like your exam results and everything.
So have you chosen like a sort of preliminary like thing?
Yeah. So you'll choose that, and you'll get a timetable, and you can make some changes to that before. Like we officially start back and everything. And then after summer, once you've got your exam results, which is always a lovely day, just sitting waiting for them.
Yeah.
You sometimes have to make changes depending on them.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. Do you remember it last year getting your exam results in?
Yes, I was coming back from London at the time.
Right.
So I was sitting on a train. My mum was like, "Your exam results come in today?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She's like, "Is there anything you want?" I was like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I need Ben and Jerry's ice cream." She's like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm either going to need it to celebrate or because I'm going to be really upset." So I did in fact not get Ben and Jerry's ice cream because we couldn't find any on the way home. So, but I got it eventually. Nice. But I did not get it the day.
Did you get it by text, your results? Did you wait for the post?
I tried to, but the website didn't like my name.
Oh.
I don't know, probably too many capitals and apostrophes.
I've always wondered why there's an I after the A in your name.
My mum decided to be difficult, I'm not going to lie.
Is it just something like to make it more unique?
Well, all my siblings have 4-letter names, so right. It was like by the time they got to me, they're like, well, we can't break it now.
Yeah, so, fair enough. So must have been a nightmare when you're like 4 years old to try to spell your name in primary school.
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't even the worst part. I kid you not, I could spell my first name fine, but for a solid year, maybe year and a half, I did not write the E in my last name. Like, my last name is O'Neill, so you're like, surely you should remember the E over the I. But no, for a solid year and a half, I wrote my name as Aiva O'Neill.
O'Neill.
And I looked through some of my old work because I had like all my old stuff out the other day. Mm-hmm. And I saw some things and it was like, Aiva O'Neill. Aiva O'Neill. Mm-hmm. I was like, surely I wasn't that stupid, but no, I was.
Aye, so before we finish off, you've moved into Essex. Have you got ambitions for like the future yet? Like if you had to think about what you want to do when you leave school, or is it not really crossed your mind yet?
I've got a few things that I might want to do, but you know what? I've got time and I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you don't need to have any rush to make up your mind. You know, loads of people know when they leave school exactly what they want to do. Other people take more time to do it, but there's no set path. There's not a race to get there first. You know, people sometimes sort of panic about that. Just go at your own pace. As long as you come back in Essex and do more volunteering, like you said, our department is bursting at the seams. People just can't get enough of music in this school. Must be this podcast.
It absolutely is. Yeah. I think Taylor Swift will come and do a UK tour purely because you requested it, and I guarantee you she'll watch this because I mean it's so famous.
Oh, it's got that 153 subscribers is just, you know.
I mean, sorry, that's...
Not be long before doing paid promotion on here, like promoting certain Glockenspiel brands.
That's such a good idea, sir.
I'd love to do that.
Like, I think, yeah. I mean...
Try not to make it obvious, you know, like how, you know, when you get these paid promoters that obviously they're trying to sell you a product, but they try and make it look like they're not.
Oh, you know, get some of the students with the Glockenspiels just like, and I really wanted to play you this on this, and like names the brand.
Yeah,
like,
the brand.
There's absolutely no way that was natural.
Casio keyboard. Yeah. Aye.
Because you know the difference.
Absolutely. I always have talking about like having... like all joking aside, like having like a thing like that. I'd always loved like to have like a famous person do a gig in the assembly hall here. I wish I had like contacts for someone like, just like to get like a gig in the school from like I don't know, Paolo Nutini or somebody like that, or like Lewis Capaldi. And I just thought that would be like, how good would that be? You know,
so
like,
I think we should after this just message him on Instagram, see if he replies.
I think he's a bit busy. There's always time to pop in.
I think he'd do it, honestly.
Yeah. Aye. I'm trying to think of it. Mr. Ness used to teach Paolo Nutini in St Andrews Academy.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned
He's only mentioned it maybe like 100 or 200 times.
Yeah.
So surely we could use his contacts and get like... we could like pretend that it isn't that, so we could say, oh, we've got like just, you know, this an assembly about, I don't know, whatever. And then the curtain could drop and he's sitting there playing...
That's such a good idea.
I would just blow my mind.
You know what,
if I was people.
I'm going to make sure someone who's on this podcast, it's going to be my life mission to make sure that one of us becomes famous just so that you can get your gig.
I don't know, I just think it would be so fun. And if I was famous, I'd love to do that sort of thing. I feel like someone like Lewis Capaldi would actually like to do that. But Yeah, I don't know where I've gone with that tangent. It's just always in my head sometimes that like it'd be an amazing way to close like the summer concert or something with like a famous person. After the school choir have been on, just I don't know, Harry Styles, somebody walks on the stage and just does
okay,
like...
right, we went from
Helen
Trinity to Lewis Capaldi to now Harry Styles, who is probably one of the most famous singers
of his generation
right now.
Yeah.
So that's...
One can only dream. You never know. The rate of escalation and growth of this department, that would be the next natural step.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got like, what, 90% of S3 doing?
Well, no, there's I don't know how many are in the S2 cohort, like last year's S2, but it's almost something like more than half of every S2 class chose music, which for a subject that's like a relatively small subject, when you think of like sciences and stuff, it's punching massively above its weight.
Well, clearly it's just that good. I mean,
yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I like to think we still retained our modesty.
Yeah.
Despite such levels of success, sometimes it can be hard to keep your feet on the ground and get your head through the door when it's that big.
So what do you mean if you were famous? Like, honestly.
Yeah. It's like, see, being a teacher, right? I was speaking to somebody about this. It's like being famous without any of the good bits of it. Like, so like, say if I was to go into Braehead, for example, just now, right? Yeah. I can guarantee you there'd be somebody from this school in there. And it's like that really awkward way of like how you know that there's pupils in the school and you can't go into a shop without worrying about someone screaming your name for no obvious reason other than the fact that you happen to work in a particular job. And no other job would have that. Like if I was like, I don't know, a dentist or something, like, and nobody would ever do that. Or if you were like a lawyer or something like that, or a plumber, or that. Aye, so it's like...
I mean, if you were a dentist, you'd have your Dr. Solly.
Are you a doctor if you're a dentist? Is that a different thing?
Yeah, because you have to get a doctorate in dentistry, don't you?
I don't know. I'm not
I'm pretty sure most of the signs read doctor when last time I went to the dentist.
Anyway, sorry, I've just strayed massively off tangent here.
What were we talking about?
I can't remember. I'm not going to go to Braehead on the way home, though. What I was saying is that, so being a teacher is like this weird sort of thing where, like you forget that so many people know who you are, but you like so you can't go about sometimes without, and you forget sometimes that like if I went into Braehead, loads of folk would know who you are, but for no real reason other than you happen to be a teacher, and they just like scream your name for no obvious reason because they're children. Yeah,
and this is clearly the most exciting part of their day. They saw someone they see every single day, but in a different setting.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Like, oh my god, he has an actual life. Like, he doesn't live in this department. Sure? I don't know.
That was a bit mean.
Sometimes I do like to sort of sleep under the keyboard. For a little like that be room where the drums are. The wallpaper.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's like
is that why there was new lamps in there?
Yeah.
That's I see. Fair. You were just redecorating.
Yeah. Well, running such a successful department does come at some costs, you know.
Well, can we maybe get a aircon in there as well, because it's roasting in that room?
Do you know something? I'd rather have that than have Lewis Capaldi play live in the Assembly Hall. That room that is unbelievable.
So warm.
It could be like -4 outside. It's always like the weird sort of... but it's usually when it's cold as well. Like today's quite a relatively warm day and it seems fine, but like there's times I've been in there when there's like... It's unbearably warm. Like it's actually painful.
Like I'd rather be outside, which is crazy because I hate the cold.
Yeah, it's snowing and it's teeming it down outside, but in that room it's like a sauna. Yeah. Try to grip the drumstick and it's just like, I can't. And then people try and sing in that room and it's like a sweat box.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we're working within like we don't have that much facilities in here. That used to just be a dumping ground in there for instruments. We've tried to set into sort of like a practice space.
So basically, if you enjoy music, give us an aircon, give us some more rooms, some brand deals with glockenspiel companies.
Yeah, that would be excellent. I'd love a paid promotion with Casio, paid sponsorship deal.
We'll do some emails. We'll get something sorted, sir.
Yeah, excellent. Sounds good. We'll leave things there. I'll stop the rambling. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Always enjoy your company. You've just been a really, really amazing student in this department and the whole school. Just like a model pupil to everybody in the younger years, and I know loads of people look up to you in this school. Thanks for your time, Aiva.
Well, thanks you very much.
Thanks for watching. We'll try and get some more episodes done over the next few weeks. Because of study leave as well, we've got a wee bit of time, but most of the senior pupils aren't in the school as much, so only committed ones like you will come in just to film this, which I think is very, very generous of you. And hopefully this video gets to success and fame that can maybe grow our department again.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift, Lewis Capaldi, Harry Styles, if you're watching, you know what to do.
You know what to do, yeah. Get in touch through Glow. Anyway, thank you very much. Cheers, everybody. Bye.
Bye.